This next game should be a very cute affair as we have House Maestro in the building. The family's here, Dan. We've got the father-son combo, effectively, of GaRpY taking on RAISY. And this should, as always, be quite an explosive affair.
I mean, I don't see any mercy from the Sun side, if I'm honest, though. RAISY, true-born killer. But interesting to see how GaRpY fares up. I think he's well-deservedly back in the QPL, and as somebody that can have a few upsets here and there.
He's been grinding as well. You think about the fact, right, of obviously when he was knocked out way back ago, how many times we saw him attempting time and time again, grinding it out with challengers and getting so close, but being so far from getting back in. And now finally, after the performance he had at the last stage finals, he's got his spot back. And as you said, rightfully so, he deserves to be back in the league. I hope we get to see a lot from the British Bulldog tonight. Bulldog even. Bulldog.
That's probably more fitting for GaRpY. But no, I mean, the true choke artist took his time getting back in, but yes, he's looked, in some matches he looks like a world beater, and in other matches he looks like he's learning to play. So you never really know what's happening with GaRpY. He's definitely one of my favourite players. He's such a great guy to have around. I'm sure he's been mentoring the Maestro guys, which is why they're doing so well. But when he's on form, he really is a very, very high caliber player. I just want to, and I think everyone wants to see that more consistently from him. We all know what we're going to get from RAISY, and it's good to see him really back at his best. The stage 1 finals were amazing, and for him to take as many maps as he did off someone that's been unbeaten for so long, it shows how far he's come.
Oh yeah, and someone I'm always just really happy to be around, and to me feels like family at this point. It's my esports dad. It's the man that keeps me in check and drops rock memes on me. Of course, it's DJ Wheat that's going to be joining us for the featured
What's
fight.
up, gentlemen? Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, brother.
Hair's a little bit longer. I got a new sweater. It's a new year. It's a new stage. Week 1, I'm ready to rock and roll. You guys have been doing great today, by the way.
Well, you haven't been here to keep us in check, so we've been ad-libbing. It's all been popping off. We need to be reined in.
And we know that Dan wants to be a circle, so I mean, Sunday's complete for me, at least.
That's what it's about. If you know what shape you want to be, let us know on Twitter. #Quake Pro League. That's really the most important factor about all of this. Apart from, of course, GaRpY taking on RAISY. That should be a Super 6 series. Coming in for this one, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting for all the reasons that you all mentioned, but GaRpY coming in through the Challenger League, you know, that was one of the more exciting storylines that we were watching throughout Season 2, Stage 1, which is, right, these new players who fought their way through the Challengers League, and then you know, showing up during the every week of QPL. So I think right, this is the week to kick off. These two have experience with one another, obviously, but it's GaRpY's moment to shine, right? And I think that's what we all hope for anyone that comes out of the Challengers League and then makes it into, you know, regular stage play in QPL. So now, can he do it? I mean, spoilers, but I'm sitting here looking at a clutch on the character selection screen. So, you know, we all know what that means, but I'm excited to see how this will play out.
I mean, for someone that's also experienced so much heartbreak of being in the challenges, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to be back there. So it's going to be, you know, every match for the next 10 weeks is going to be fighting for his life. And so, you know, it's going to be fingernails biting time for GaRpY and GaRpY fans a lot of the time. But I think he's definitely got it in not to be in the relegation spots.
Yeah, he'll have his heart on his sleeve, and you've definitely got my heart pounding from mentioning the fact we might have a clutch. So I think we should have a look at the Veto and see what else is going to be coming up in this series, because of course we get 3 maps between these two. If there's a clutch in the mix, that already sounds tantalizing. Oh no, Awoken to start, clutch versus Ranger. Daniel, talk me through this. What's going on?
Your first match back in the QPL against RAISY, and you're going into clutch. So. And then keeled. Oh man, we're in for a nice spicy affair to start. I'm not entirely sure why he let the clutch through, but he did, and now he has to face it. So I think he's obviously got a lot of experience going against RAISY's clutch and will know how to play around it. Doesn't fill me with confidence that he's able to, but he will know in theory what to do. And not a lot of people end up coming out on top despite having what they see as a solution. Ranger, you can reposition and play around it, but you only have 1 orb, and clutch has infinite strafing abilities to get back on you. So it's going to be a tough ask for GaRpY on that map, I'm going to be honest.
Yep.
Ruins is going to be a bit of a bloodbath as we have Keel versus the Scale Bearer. That's always fun to watch. And then end up on Corrupted Keep. Galena versus Doom, a bit more meta.
Oh mate, as if we get Scalebearer, we're getting throwbacks to the sheer hatred that was coming out from Wheat.
There's no hatred. It's not. It was facts, man. It was nothing but facts. Is that you pick Scale, and I was sitting here trying to decipher what Dan was saying, and it's like it's fun to lose. What I don't. So I think the first two are these are uphill battles for GaRpY for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Rough. Oh, as Veto's go, it's definitely not what I expected. It kind of looks like one where he's just gone, you know what? Come on, son. Let's have fun.
I don't really know if I'm on it. It's the first Scale we've seen in a day.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna try to counter Keel's pineapples a little bit, I guess it makes a lot of sense that we'll have to see how it plays out. I mean. I get the impression from what I'm seeing is that RAISY just wants to come out swinging here in stage 2, right? He got all of his picks that he wants to get. I think he's going to be crazy aggro today.
Oh, he's got to be as well. Just even in terms of the maps, right? Like, not even the champions. You get clutch there on Awoken. There was a point, like, I remember when me and Zoot used to see him on Awoken, he'd just be like, if he's on Awoken, he's never going to lose. He's just actively never going to drop that map. And again, I feel like this is another time where that does reign true, where you put him back on Awoken and he's on clutch. It looks statistically impossible he should lose that one.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't get to too big of a scoreline.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we could break some records tonight, boys, potentially.
We could.
I don't think Maestro. I think he might find himself out on Maestro if it gets too big. So got to let the boss have a respectable loss.
Well, hopefully we'll get some. Hopefully we'll see some good stuff out of GaRpY.
I think so. Something that will certainly be a lot better for everyone at home, though, is the fact that we can finally politely ask ZSX to leave and just leave me and you here, Wheat. So if you wouldn't mind, Dan, just being sucked up into the black hole behind you, and we'll see you later on.
I was waiting for Dan to do some sound effect where it's like,
yeah, I thought he'd embrace it. Oh, God. Right, well, now he's gone back into the Aether for a little bit. We can focus on the fact that we get a very tasty first map. Awoken coming in, Clutch versus Ranger. The Maestro boys out on parole. I'm excited for this one, mate. I'm looking forward to casting you as well. It's been a little while.
It has been. It's nice to be back. A nice little break. It's good to see chat again, memeing. I got to give a shout out to Malinky Fox, who said DJ Wheat looks like he's about to host the sickest Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
No! Oh
God.
You can't start dropping Yu-Gi-Oh references on me.
That's too funny. That is so funny. All right, we got Awoken, and we've got a Clutch versus Ranger. Even Dan's still back there laughing in the back.
It feels like we've played a pot of greed on this one. He's just kecking in the distance, and he's losing his mind. I'm having a bit of a cry. It's all going to be fine. We're going into Awoken, Clutch versus Ranger. I've missed you, Wee. Oh, man.
It's good to be back. Yeah, I'm week one, we heard so many players, Jackie, say, hey, I want to take some time off. Now we get to find off, did people take time off? Did they take too much time off? Did they maybe grind it out? I don't know. We're about to find out, but you take us away.
Let's get into it. Let's see how it's going to go. And of course, who else POV would we start with, right? RAISY on Clutch. We got to give him the limelight immediately. Straight in. And he is looking aggro. Swings his way onto GaRpY to start us off. And already we get the first frag. 14 seconds in. The bell's already been rung.
I mean, shield within the first 10 seconds. He waited instead of item gathering, for the opportunity to just drop that rocket down. And I mentioned that I thought he was going to go super aggro. And this is exactly what I was kind of imagining in my head. But, you can go to aggro I think RAISY just seems really comfortable already, right? Whether that is, I don't think that's disrespect towards GaRpY. I think that is just confidence in his own abilities. And there's the second frag, easily picked up before that first minute mark.
Oh, yeah. And you think about as well, the amount of time they must have spent together when he was round there on LAN for the previous stage finals. They would have played against each other loads. They've known each other for so long. He's going to have a really good understanding of how to play against GaRpY. So he is just going to be confident. That's the way RAISY operates, and already he's showing that. 3 frags in the space of the opening 60 seconds. And it seems like he's just hoovering up all the items. We've seen 1 item for GaRpY so far, a single heavy. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, despite RAISY's aggressiveness, like, I mean, what I'm seeing out of GaRpY is what I think we need to, right? Good LG there after the shield was down, trying to hit those rails. He needs to try to play that mid game with him, right? Because RAISY is just gonna, the moment that shield's back up, he's gonna shield an LG, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. He knows shield's down. This is the time to attack. So I guess a moment to breathe, but as you mentioned, RAISY's also just kind of vacuuming up all of these items. So he's got shield back up again. Look for him to look for that opportunity to, you know, to just get right up in GaRpY's face.
Well, that's a little known fact, actually. Clutch was originally a hoovering droid, so he's very good at sucking up all the major items, and it certainly helps him so far. Let's see if he can blow away GaRpY, though, as again, swoops in with a shield, clean connections, but it's the shotgun as he swoops round the corner like some kind of robotic eagle and pecks his eyes out with a shotgun.
And that's actually twice that GaRpY has got RAISY. Oh my God. This is what I want to eat, what he ate this morning. Yeah, I mean, we've seen GaRpY get him very, very low. Here's another time, sub 35 right now, trying to get any final sell that he can off of on RAISY, and it does not happen. RAISY somehow getting away by the skin of his teeth. And there it is, GaRpY coming around the corner, finally picking up his first frag. So that's what we like to see, right? I mean, you don't want to get RAISY pick up, or you don't want to let him pick up like 4 frags to every single one of your ones. And you also don't want to blow yourself up like that, losing your only frag that you know, took 2.5 minutes to get. That's unfortunate, taking a little bit too much splash damage there, and being back to 4-0. But, Jaggy, what I think I'm saying is that GaRpY's got the potential here. He knows what he needs to do versus RAISY, and now it's just a matter of doing it.
Oh, it is just a matter of doing it. He's got the theory, he's got that down. It's just coming to the practice, and at the minute, RAISY seems to be the one that's pulling out the stops. At least, though, GaRpY, he's able to get that 1 frag that he lost back, finds it again, and takes us 5-1. And to be honest with you, it's perfectly reasonable. We're still under 4 minutes. There's a big chance that he can get himself into the groove here. I want to see the rockets coming out as well. That's always been one of the weapons that gives GaRpY so much weight into duel. It allows him to get into his flow state a little bit easier, but he's low. Does make a big play, though. The dire orb was nice for the initiate, but RAISY's shotgun's just far too strong. He's just blowing him to bits. Set up on Banana as well. Of course, he's going to punish him. Peels him back like a banana skin, and it seems like he's going to be gone.
Oh, so much happening right there. RAISY getting the mega health that will save his life. Also, you know, unfortunately, I think RAISY is just reading GaRpY like a book right now. One that he's read like 5 or 6 times for sure.
Green eggs and ham.
Yes, very easy to digest. It's fun. It rhymes, and he's getting it done there. But I mean, we've seen a couple of these flick rails. He did not fall. He did not get jebaited at all for that dire orb, and what a miraculous frag that was. But 7-1 right now. You are all mentioning the fact that you know, we could see a pretty large score gap here, and based off of this pacing, that is true. And it's kind of crazy to see, because, you know, honestly, GaRpY has gotten RAISY very, very low. But again, just showing that RAISY feels like he is just completely invincible here on Clutch.
Oh, and rightly so. It's one of those where we never see it anymore. Like, it's always respect band 24/7. And this feels like the one opportunity where GaRpY does have the confidence, knowing RAISY so well, to kind of float it in the veto. And of course, why wouldn't you snap it up as your first pick if you can? And he's just having a field day with it. He's living his movie. Right now, he's selling an awful lot of tickets because it is a bit of a spectacle. He's got himself 8 kills, and we're not even at 6 minutes. Still plenty of time for this to inflate more and more. And he's taking his fights, trying to stop GaRpY from getting that mega. Does lose the item. Nearly goes flying off the ledge as well, but keeps himself on, barely holding himself for now.
Yeah, still 4 minutes left to go. I do like what GaRpY did in that last exchange. It looked like he, basically started a fight to force the shield out and then just backed off and then started attacking, knowing that shield was down. Of course, it's back up again, so it's just starting all over again. However, I think anything to try to gain some ground versus RAISY, because obviously he wants to fight you when that shield is up. But now slowing it down just a little bit, waiting for GaRpY to show himself. And GaRpY also slowing it down a bit. You can kind of see he has an idea where he is. Oh, gets a nice rocket, but the shield comes out, still manages to get the frag. Nicely done, slowing it down there, playing that right. GaRpY with the second frag.
It's nice to see. I suppose one of the factors that potentially could come in here is that GaRpY, he's a bit of a demon with the LG. Right now, nearly at 2k damage with the weapon. You think about how ginormous Clutch is as well, right? You can paint him like the broadside of a barn. You can hit him so easily. So this is just only going to benefit the fact that GaRpY's really strong with his LG. It's working well for him. Does pull out the rail at the minute, though, as he's hunting him. At least trying to find an opportunity to do some damage. And he needs to soon. If there's any way he's going to get into this to potentially pick this map up on Awoken, he's got to go right now and really pummel him. His race has already got such a big lead. He's just holding it down towards middle. Dire Orb to steal away the Mega. Good clean tags as well from the LG. It felt like maybe that was going to be his third frag, but he can't quite capitalize.
Yeah, he can't. Now he can at least try to capitalize on the fact that, yes, shield is down. LG does get him down to 18, but oh my God, a rocket through the murder hole, and he goes down 9-4. I was about to say, I think the best that GaRpY can hope for here is probably going halvesies with RAISY's at 8-4 maybe, but with that nice rocket, perfectly placed, and then getting the conversion frag off that, stealing away the Mega as well. Just kind of playing exactly the game that he wants to play. Very, very low right now. But once again, the shield is one thing, but the movement and the way that RAISY uses it specifically, it's like it's designed to steal health bubbles there. So he is back up to out of the danger zone. Shield is back up, and that means it's going to be tough. Maybe GaRpY can pick up another one, but no, not with that shield. Now down, but RAISY, a 9 frag lead.
He's just pummeling him at this point, really wanting to run away with it. Gets it up to 10 as well, as GaRpY comes around the corner and just gets destroyed by the LG. Left looking like GaRpY dust. Nice 90 as well through the murder hole, as the rail's getting a little bit of love here. And RAISY, he's just run away with things. This is what we expected to see when he gets on Clutch, and he's just swinging his weight around, isn't he? He's just charging in and bouncing onto him with a body slam. Actually could fall down here, though. GaRpY with the HMG, at least getting one more. So keeping it to just a 10 frag deficit, you say that, he's been run over.
Yeah, and this is why so many players, even the best in the league, will ban Clutch out of RAISY's hands. It just seemed, this map and that pick just seemed to be a perfect complement to that beautiful brain in RAISY's head. So one I would want to stay away from, but all things considered here as we go to the final, it's not a terrible score. We've seen RAISY outfrag other great competitors here in the QPL by even crazier margins. So still not the choice that I personally would have made, Jackie. But I'm also not playing in the QPL, so I keep those reservations to myself. But RAISY with a great performance. I'll tell you what, if this is how he wants to start his stage 2, this is pretty great.
Oh, it's ideal. But you're right in the same sense where, like, all in all, this isn't actually that bad for GaRpY, because there's been times where we've seen RAISY drop like 30 kills on people when he gets clutch, and he'll just have a field day. And that's against like people like Dahang and stuff, right, when we're on land. So game changingly different that GaRpY's actually able to keep it as close. But yeah, even the best players in the world, like the only man I've ever seen actually be able to handle his clutch is Rafa. And of course, it says something, right? If Rafa's the only one that can deal with it, probably makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because the intricacies of Rafa dealing with RAISY goes so far as to like denying cooldown bubbles, like, you know, counting to the millisecond when the shield comes up, like trying to force the pop of the shield. And these are things that we kind of saw from GaRpY, but maybe not quite as seasoned as, you know, our current champion, Rafa, as well. So now we just shift things up. Maybe Awoken was the throwaway. We're going to Ruins now. It's going to be a Keel versus Scalebearer. And I know at the end of last season, I was giving Scalebearer some, you know, I was definitely throwing some shade around. But I do think what is interesting about this matchup is that we've seen Keel dominate because it always seems like the champion select on the other side is not up to the task of Keel. And I kind of think, you know, well, wait a second, if Scale can just kind of bull rush through some grenades, you know, maybe that's not too shabby of a pick. So I'm very curious to see this second map and how that will play out. Maybe we can earn some brownie points for Scalebearer. I don't know.
Potentially. This is it. This is like, you know, this is the redemption arc for all of the Scalebearer fans out there. They could win your heart back, if GaRpY's able to prove that he can go toe-to-toe in the middle of a cell here on Ruins against Keel. However, I'd probably also agree with your original thought and just say, I feel like, again, RAISY coming out on Keel, he's going to be a nutter with these pineapples. I can already tell he's going to be a nuisance maker with them, and it's going to be uncomfortable because although GaRpY's got that extra weight to throw around, right, being a heavy champ, you're also a lot bigger. You've got that huge hitbox. It's way easier for those pineapples to get stuck on you, to make it uncomfortable when you're trying to rush in. I think it's a double-edged sword for both of them.
Yeah, I mean it's true, and Keel's a big boy too. You know, they're both they're aiming at large targets for sure. Yes, the thing is, and what's also interesting is just the map, right? Because a lot of what we're sort of theory crafting here doesn't, you know, Ruins can play up close, but mostly it plays mid and long, right? And I imagine like these two heavyweights kind of just going at it where they're just in the center of one arena, just beating the hell out of each other. So I'm curious to see, you know, how the play style is going to be, because I don't see them changing it up just to like play the champs. But I don't know. I do still give pineapples the advantage here.
Absolutely. I think you've always got to. Fruit tends to win out in a lot of statements in life, and we'll see if, again, this is going to be the case here. We do start it off on RAISY's POV, so we'll get the opportunity to see the Pineapple Punisher popping off. But GaRpY, what can he get done? Straight away, the LG's pulled out, and he was trying to get a bit of an uppercut under the chin there on RAISY. Doesn't land it, though. RAISY's just spreading himself out, building up a bit of a stack and finding himself a couple of weapons to play with. He can actually get himself a huge stack here, and he's doing damage, He's going to win himself the heavy, and he's broken the stack of GaRpY already.
Yeah, that rail was just huge, right? To even have the insight that, like, my opponent might be falling down here right now and hitting that shot. But to your point, yes, the stack goes by. There's the bull rush to get out of there. All right, GaRpY immediately using that as an escape. He prevents that first frag from getting on the board from RAISY. Nicely done. The problem is that this is RAISY's house already, right? He is, he's got his timings down. He is, again, like the last map, just kind of vacuuming everything up. But that rail was so huge because it won the heavy, and then ultimately almost that first frag with GaRpY kind of getting away at the last moment.
Now, RAISY at this point, knowing that GaRpY, he should be low and that he's had to scarper his way away. Now finding him, he's just going to put the welcome mat down and invite him in. GaRpY, oh, he's got muddy shoes, but it's not going to help as he's dead. RAISY taking him out with the LG. That's another major item going his way as well, and he drops down. Both of them hitting each other cleanly there with the LG. GaRpY actually locked him in place. That was pretty tidy. Does lose out on the heavy though.
Oh my.
There's the trade back off the spawn, the starting stack. You can't mess with the starting stack.
You really can't. And like what a spawn that was for RAISY given where he's at. And that is also not going to work out. Yeah, with Mega spawning here any moment. That was just an unfortunate series of spawns there for GaRpY. Well read by RAISY for sure. And great pineapples there. But 3-1, we're 2 minutes in, so you know, still very much a game. But I think like RAISY, what is his railgun right now? Oh, it's 100%. That'd be why. I was like, I don't think I've seen a miss, and that's facts. We have it.
Oh, he doesn't miss a beat. Classic RAISY. Raising hell, like smoking Joe Fraser, the Hellraiser is this man. He's cooking with a lot of flavor right now. If I had to compare him to a spice, he'd probably be turmeric, which isn't actually too spicy. 3 frags on the board though, as he's 2 ahead here. GaRpY at least getting items, so that's a start. He can build himself back up a little bit and try and trickle his way back into the game. But RAISY, he's just setting up and getting ready for action. Finds him, knows exactly where he is. Bro, the play with a tri-bolt, he hits him with every shot, shreds the stack he did have. Now is able to dip underneath him, sets up with a rail. You can see how uncomfortable GaRpY is. Even with a slightly bigger stack, he knows that this is awkward.
Yeah, and he's got to be real careful here. I mean, heavy is going to be up any moment. RAISY can immediately just kind of drop down. I don't think he's too worried. And there he goes. Goes for a little whip there and manages to grab the heavy. And that's going to set him up nicely to make it over to the Mega. LG battle just outside the jump pad, though. And GaRpY's got an opportunity here. He can immediately run for Mega, and that's what he's going to do. We see RAISY meet up with them. The pineapples are coming out and taking a couple to the face, but the shotgun blast, close quarters, and that is not going to work out well for GaRpY. Still, though, Jackie, this score is close, right? 4-2. This is a closer game than I think some expected.
A million times more doable than the position we already would have been in if this was back on Awoken, right? And, you know, as you said, it's doable when you look at it for what it is champion-wise. There's a chance. He's just got to try and keep this pace up, give himself a couple of opportunities and actually get some items under his belt. 6 minutes on the clock, and RAISY instigating a fight. A nice amount of damage to close the gap between them. But there's no Mega coming. That's still down for another 15 seconds. GaRpY could get himself the heavy here and actually be in a really great spot. If he gets a frag off the back of this, it's the dream.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. I'll tell you what, RAISY is just hitting all of the rails that GaRpY needs to be hitting. I mean, there's been a couple of moments where the momentum could be completely shut down here by GaRpY if he could, you know, hit a few of those rails that he's going for. And you know, RAISY's movement's been decent. Those are hard shots to hit, but we're about to hit the 5-minute mark. Only 2 frags separating these two. GaRpY now is going to get his second heavy in a row, and I think this bodes well for him. He's just got to figure out if he could land a couple of those rails and then bull rush his way to victory. Awesome. That could at least set him up potentially to tie it back up.
Well, past that halfway point. And obviously time is starting to drip away. GaRpY dropping down and potentially dripping. It'll be a bit bloody off the back of that one. The connection from RAISY doing a nice chunk of damage to him. So he will have to weave his way back over towards heavy. RAISY was ready for the face as well. Clears both of the angles, expecting him to face over the broken wall. In reality, he's looped back around. Barrage of rockets coming in. He's going to win himself that Mega. He's getting good items, but it's the chip damage week. That's the difference maker.
That's exactly right. I mean, you're looking at almost 2,000 damage for RAISY and about 1,200 for GaRpY, and I can't help but think that if he was hitting this damage, and hold on, we got a bull rush into the lower levels. One more rocket. And they do exchange. That actually isn't terrible for GaRpY. He is going to get a great spawn that lets him go down there, rearm with everything. He's got a rail as well. That actually wasn't too bad. Again, I think that the big difference between these two is that chip damage, whether it's a rail here or a pineapple here or just a little bit of extra LG battle or damage. But we've got a battle here at the heavy once again, and GaRpY unfortunately will have to retreat from that one.
He's just getting manhandled every time RAISY gets in close proximity. He hits his shots, GaRpY, anytime there is a second of doubt, a minuscule miss where he doesn't quite get those clean shots off, RAISY just abuses him, does so much damage, and again, that's the game plan here. Hits him for a clean 100, he'll have to chase him, the LG does not miss a beat, he's gone, GaRpY's been slain, left in the watery grave, and RAISY just celebrates as he'll get himself a nice new spanky vest.
I do like, GaRpY's play here. I think sort of minus the, I wish he was able to hit a few more of these shots. I mean, we all do as players, but there's some good LG right there. Fortunately, running out, he's going to have to reposition here. But I think that the danger is trying to play too fast. Right? Yeah. Like GaRpY definitely played a little bit slower, a bit more meticulous game here in the opening 5 minutes. Now things speeding up a little bit. Oh my gosh. Come on. I'm rooting for him to, no. Rail not going to be hit. He watched his opponent take that heavy right in front of him. It's got to be a little defeating, Jackie. Just a little bit defeating.
It's got to be. That slight sinking feeling, like when you're on a roller coaster or you go over a bump in a car. That's what he's going through right now. And RAISY, he's on cloud 9. He's just going to be really enjoying the way this one's been played out. Again, another nice connection. GaRpY does chase. It's a good chase, but it's not looking too clean when he's able to turn on him. Just rip him to pieces there with the LG. The backfire of pineapples as well, and he gets out of there. He's able to escape, get himself back up on stack, and he's just lurking around. Knows that this clock is close to being at its end, so he can waste time again, Wheat.
Exactly. And, much closer game. If this is a more entertaining game than I thought it might be. And I think it comes down to just RAISY and that extra damage, whether those were rail shots still sitting at a 61% rail out of 13 shots, or if it was those pineapples. And again, I wish I could see exactly how much damage those were doing, because there's so many times that GaRpY, just like that one, came around a corner and RAISY blind firing a pineapple, just, either he soaks up the damage or it forces him to take another route. And I think that has always been the power of Keel there. But, still going back to that one, the one frag right off the spawn where it was like 2 grenades in the face and then followed up with a rail. Like, that was ugly. And with GaRpY having the stack lead right now, unfortunately, a minute left, not a whole lot he's going to be able to do. And RAISY just playing this one smart.
Oh man, GaRpY, he tried his luck. He was just going to go for the full engagement. Comes ball rushing round the corner. RAISY's just playing hide and seek. He will get found, but it's not going to matter as GaRpY, 4 frags down in 30 seconds. It's physically not doable. He's got pineapple squishing under his feet as well. He might get one more to at least slightly close the gap, but I think at this point that's the best possible outcome for him. The flicks are coming out though. At least trying to style on him a little bit. And he gets himself the 5th. That's not too bad.
No, and that, a few of those earlier on in the game, and we could see a flipped score. I actually believe that. But RAISY played this one the RAISY way. GaRpY did a great job. I mean, we gotta be real here. 8-5. That's actually a 6 score right there, all things considered. And, one of the things that we talk about here with GaRpY is that he's coming up from challengers, and not saying like, GaRpY's he's a lower tier player. Like, it's not the case, but he put up a great map just now versus RAISY, someone who, handled most of the European talent in QPL quite handily in this last stage. So if that is a foreshadowing of what GaRpY, might be able to do during this stage, then that's great. And we still have one more map to go. Kind of be the equalizer of it all. But I'm impressed with GaRpY. I think this is a good showing.
No, absolutely. Especially as well when you take into the fact that we were talking about first, right? Where a lot of these players have had their time off over the holidays. They've had some time to rest, maybe haven't been practicing as much as they would have been otherwise during the regular season. So you come in, and this is probably the rustiest we're going to see all of our pros in this first week. From that point onwards, they're going to be back on the grind daily again, and we'll see them reaching that peak again. So for GaRpY to be able to actually go toe-to-toe and make it look like there is a possibility he could win these maps, still goes to show that there's been a lot of growth there, and it's good to have him back in the league and posting up some close numbers. As you said, 8-5 split on Ruins. It's pretty tidy.
Yeah, and it was, it was a 2 frag for most of the game. They had that trade when it was 5-3 that kind of played out in GaRpY's favor a little bit. So a decent map. Again, definitely entertaining. And now we move on to Corrupted Keep. We've got RAISY on the Galena and GaRpY on the Doomslayer. What are your thoughts on this one?
I'd say in terms of the rail being gone, it's probably a little bit of a helping there for GaRpY. But in terms of the fact you're on Corrupted Keep, everything else just points at the fact that this is going to be RAISY showing that this is RAISY's keep. Like, we've always kind of touted about it, right? Like, the only power struggle ever seems to be, is it RAISY's or Rafa's overall? But honestly, anyone else he plays against on this map, it feels like they must have a death wish that they've left it through the veto.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna have to see how if GaRpY can knock down the front door here of RAISY's house and see if he can't throw a party of his own. But I do have to say, just after that second map, I wanted to see an impressive showing from GaRpY. And, honestly, even if you were to lose this map too and maybe go out 3-0, I think that second map is actually a really good indication. Like, I am excited to see GaRpY go up against the other EU talent for sure, throughout the stage. And hey, we got a long ways to go, right? Many weeks in front of us. In fact, welcome back. I know a lot of people are saying, man, I missed it. We all did. It was a nice break, but it's good to be back and have Quake on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. Sundays are for Quake, and Quake are for the kids. Everyone needs to get involved with Quake. That's the way it goes. And we are back in, ready to keep it rolling, as RAISY is, of course, going to be the POV we start off with. Third and final map. This is the last opportunity for GaRpY to get anything. And RAISY straight in. Hot on his tower, chasing him down to do a bit of damage with the shotty. But he doesn't miss when he pulls out the HMG. We just clean tags. He's actually getting melted, though.
He is.
GaRpY's LG's been so good.
He just had that perfect angle on him from the bottom to the top. And we're going to have both of our major items coming up here in just a moment. It looks like RAISY is going to beeline over to the heavy, and that's smart. And his opponent GaRpY goes for the mega. Unfortunately, GaRpY with no armor, he does finally pick up that light over in the side, and both players have an idea where the other is. The other thing just to mention is, GaRpY is, oh my, no! If there were knives in this game, GaRpY was dead. I can't believe it. Turns around, just sees him creeping over there. And a second time as well, RAISY gets the best of both of those exchanges. 2 rockets, though, do pop RAISY up, but he manages to clean it up with that LG. And that is rough. RAISY taking his first frag here in the first minute 15.
That's the opening kill. Like opening Pandora's box. I think they're just going to keep on coming from this point. There's no putting the lid back on this one. The shotty for RAISY's pulled out, and that's the second swiftly achieved as he'll snatch that one up. GaRpY, he has the high ground. Oh, he didn't catch him, though. Didn't catch a glimpse and realize where RAISY is. He's able to lurk underneath him, play out for the audio cues. In terms of the timing, Heavy's just come up and RAISY takes too much damage. He's got to make his move back over to Mega and at least resituate for the meantime. It's a close turn on the stack, though. Both of them in pretty similar positions. He's also got the added benefit of 1 totem down. Sees GaRpY coming in through the window, fires off the warning shots, but they're really just toying with each other. No full commit. The rocket's quite nice, though, Wheat.
Very, very nice. I like this battle that's going on. Oh, and that was a huge one for GaRpY.
What?
Yes, that pop-up, he didn't land in the teleporter, and so GaRpY was able to get a follow-up. Now, he is hurting bad. A tickle here would take him out, and he's going to, he's going to rearm himself and looking pretty good now. But that's a way to get on the board. I do think that he needs to be on top of totem management. GaRpY, right? Taking them out as much as he possibly can. And it's a hard ask. It really is, right? To be like, I'm trying to collect items here and control, and you want me to take care of the totems? It's like, unfortunately, versus, you know, who you're up against, yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. And they are going to swap things out. They're going to switch their items, and GaRpY's going to grab the Mega. And look at this. RAISY's actually going to hold on to the Heavy for a little bit longer. He just now picks it up. And I'm curious to see how that will, you know, if GaRpY knows what happened there.
GaRpY, he was looking like he wanted to try and slow it down a little bit and potentially set the trap up, but RAISY finds him, immediately sniffed him out, caught a whiff of where he was, and just sets himself up, waiting on top of the wall so he can drop down on a Mega, and then he comes in like a wrecking ball, looking like Miley Cyrus as he wants to shut him down. GaRpY very low, but at least still alive. 52 HP, to be able to back out of there and not concede the frag just yet. Good rocket damage. It looked like maybe there was a chance, almost a possibility, that he won out on that one. A close encounter that goes the way of RAISY, and straight back in with the stack he's got to play with. They have to fight for Mega control. It's up in 3 seconds. It feels like he's given it to him.
Yeah, and because those items have been offset, there's just no easy way. You know, GaRpY can't just go over and grab the Heavy. So that was a real smart anticipation and play earlier from RAISY. Now, he's got no armor stack at all, just sitting on some health right now. I think GaRpY has a really good idea about that, and he's just going to chill and wait for that light to spawn. While GaRpY is kind of out and about, and does give him an opportunity to you know, look at for totems. What do we have down here? I think he's now cleared them all out, and I do have to say I think that's why RAISY won that last frag quite easily. All the totems were on the field, easy play for him, and there's just nothing. Wow, 2 direct rockets on top of the head of GaRpY. Going to finish up with the LG here. Can't quite get it done, but GaRpY is screaming for his life.
Oh yeah. The Doom is in a really rough spot. The silent protagonist not being so silent right now with the amount of pain he's going through. Nearly at 5 minutes as well. Halfway through the timer on this one, and RAISY picking up those items. Looks like he's set his focus on grabbing both, and he should be able to. Also getting down the extra totem to be able to block off for the rotate and get himself the additional heal.
Oh.
Direct on GaRpY! Oh, he's imploded him. It was like a Hadron Collider.
It was bad. Yeah. Not much you could say about that. Just a big pile of Gibbs for sure. And that's going to make it 4-1. And there's the MG to make it 5-1. You know, one thing that I think has really been prioritized here by RAISY is his totems and hourglasses. And there he goes again. He's like, well, these totems seem to be living pretty long. I'll just stick them right here. And it's not good. You know, these fights are already tough for GaRpY. When there's just a lot more health on the field or on the board for RAISY, it makes it even worse. But he looks like he is finally hitting his groove right now. I mean, RAISY looked amazing in map number 1. He's starting to look like he looked right there, catching his opponent off guard, hitting really nice percentages on just about all of his weapons. And, you know, only 300 damage more than his opponent, but all those have converted to frags. So obviously a big deal. Wow.
The crazy bit about that as well, right, is obviously he basically just got himself the free Mega and went in for it. But he didn't even need to, just didn't take any damage with the way he's played it. He can then try and fight back in for the actual control. GaRpY brings out the fists. Nearly close.
That was
no
close.
Yeah,
it was.
He almost did it.
It was.
Oh, you can't blame him for trying as well. At this point, you kind of got a style on him.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate that he wasn't able to at least clean that up post frag. At least to put one more frag on the board. Again, RAISY just with absolute control right now. This is the zone. Mega Host picked up by GaRpY, but unfortunately he's just not doing the damage output that he needs to be doing. And RAISY can just, you know, put his fists up and take the battle right into GaRpY's face. So he's continuing to roll here. And what was a very close game, Jackie, is now kind of turned into a bit of a stomp, 10-1, with still about 2.5 minutes left to go.
Oh, yeah. It was tight for the first couple of minutes. There was a good amount of respect shown, and then RAISY, as soon as he gets into his groove and he's able to just get a little bit funky, he runs away with things. And that's what he's done here. You've got that 9 frag lead. You've got him hitting every shot, be it flicks, be it consistent tracing, right? Like, he's just so good with every weapon. His arsenal's just pristine, and we're really getting a good spotlight of all the different types of play that can come out from RAISY here. And with only 2 minutes left, it's just a matter of, does GaRpY want to try and just hit him over and over again and see what the outcome will be, or is it just a matter of time for the inevitable?
Yeah, you know, RAISY kind of has this really interesting way of kind of worming into his opponent's head a little bit, and I kind of feel that's what's happened here. You know, taking risks that he doesn't need to take, but he just kind of wants to dominate. And you know, that's fine. I mean, when you've got a lead, I think it's smart to take risks, right? That can help in many different ways. But unfortunately, GaRpY just not really able to adjust his own play based off of how RAISY's playing. And look at now,
I can't believe
he's
this.
playing, you know, the exact opposite of what I just said, right? Not being aggro. In fact, making his opponent guess where in the hell is he? Finally, he is caught. And I don't even think it's gonna matter, right? He's just kind of running again, and what an interesting conclusion here to this matchup in the final minute.
Man, yeah, that was like nearly a minute and a half where he kind of just shadowed GaRpY's movements and walked behind him, playing off audio cues to waste time. And I know it's a little known fact that obviously RAISY, he was 2018 world champion for hide and seek, and we're seeing some of that brought to the table here. It was fantastically executed movement for the most part, and it's, you know, just wasted so much time. You throw something like that in a game as well, where it's like a 1 frag deficit, that's your winning strategy right there. The fact he's doing it when he's so many frags up, it just goes to show he knows that this one's in the bag.
Yep. And I mean, at this point, I think he's just like in practice mode, right? A little bit of what you were just talking about. Oh, nice little jump up there by GaRpY to get his 3rd frag, and might find another one. Uh-oh, the gauntlet. Nope, not gonna happen. GaRpY gonna help that bruised ego just a little bit. Good games are called out, and good games indeed. RAISY is going to take this series with that final game 10-4, but he will take it 3-0. And you know, the start that we expected, I think, RAISY to have, right? Given his status here in the QPL throughout season 2. But I'm very curious to hear what Dan has to say about this one. So let's bring him back in. Dan, what'd you think of RAISY versus GaRpY?
Thanks, man. I thought it was played out as expected, you know. It was a pretty commanding victory overall, even more commanding on map 1 for obvious reasons. And then played out as expected through maps 2 and 3. Fairly calculated and composed. I don't think he really was pushed out of his comfort zone. But at the same time, I thought GaRpY was respectable. He kept himself in it. He played smart. I don't think he was as crisp as we've seen him in other matches, but he had the right strategy. He just couldn't. RAISY was just too good.
It's just crazy as well, right? Like, we've just had one of those games where you get first map clutch coming out, you get RAISY basically just being able to play exactly his dream style of Quake.
Yep.
And then he just starts pulling out the crazy maneuvers. Like, for me, the minute and a half where he kind of did just shadow him, that's one of the big takeaways as well. That's a hell of a move to make. Like, so good when it comes to understanding the pathing that GaRpY was taking and just playing off of audio cues, which it's a big aspect of the game, and RAISY's got it down to a T.
Completely agree. I mean, it's kind of interesting to think about, right? Because RAISY is a winning player, right? He mostly plays from a position of winning, right? Why not exercise and practice and do that in an official match when you know that it's not going to put the results on the line? You know, for that 90 seconds, he was playing like a player from behind. And I don't know, maybe he was memeing. Maybe he was like, I'm going to be Solid Snake for the next 90 seconds. I don't know. But, you know, I can respect it. It's like we look at it, we might laugh a little bit, but it's like not an easy thing to do either.
It takes a lot of courage to put on that Solid Snake outfit and walk around for a minute and a half. And honestly, he won my heart with it. He took me away.
Yeah, he's one of the guys to do that. He's one of the only guys to really play in such an unorthodox style, and even to, as you say, use officials just to go out and try something because he's that confident in it, in himself to be able to do that. So he looked incredibly comfortable, which is promising.
I think as well, though, like it does go to show that GaRpY is at least looking pretty good coming into it. And again, like your point you made at the start of the show, right, Dan? Like it's week one. Some of these players are just going to be easing back into the fold now. If this is GaRpY at even like 85%, we could get some really close games the longer the season goes on. Because you got to think, right? This is RAISY that almost beat Rafa at the stage finals, like #2 in the world, arguably one of the best players we've seen. Still so young, still getting better. And he's had a close matchup there where there was a couple of tight intricacies against GaRpY. GaRpY still got it.
Old man still got it. Not a Zimmer frame yet.
He does have to sleep with the half tennis balls on his back, though. Stops him from snoring. It's quite good for him.
That was just a wonderful tidbit that you dropped there, Jackie. Thank you so much. My day is better as a result of it. All right, everyone in chat is excited for the SciGib cam coming up because we got player cams that have been added through all the matches, and I am too. Will we see the shades? What will we see? I don't know, but he's going up against the champ Rafa, so this should be an interesting one.
Oh, it definitely should be. I can't wait until we get into that and see where we can go. Definitely a lot more exciting games coming up tonight. It's been a hell of a start to stage 2, boys.
It has.
Ooh, and a hell of a treat that we've actually got in store here is the fact that RAISY is with us for an interview. So we can actually pick the brains of the madman himself that does a fantastic Solid Snake impression and see how he's feeling based off the back of the win he's just taken there against GaRpY.
Happy I managed to win 3-0. That was my goal. It was tough. GaRpY is like one of those few opponents that you know that he's in your head because he knows me so well. So I had to do my best if I wanted to win. And I tried, and it worked. So that's good.
It's surprising to actually hear you say that, RAISY, because we kind of interpreted it the other way, where you're playing what we thought looked very comfortable and in some cases aggressive, right? It seems to be a style that especially looking at map 1, Awoken. So was that sort of the strategy coming out of the gate, is just to play your game and on that clutch we know that sort of aggressive style that comes out? What was how was your approach to that then?
Well, clutch is a little bit different, so it doesn't really matter that I was playing it against GaRpY because you have to play clutch a certain way, in my experience. But the other maps, it was like, because I played so much with GaRpY and he knows me so well, I can't really surprise him the way I usually do it with other players. So I have to think twice how I want to approach a certain situation. And that's why I was a little bit more different to how I would normally play, because I was respecting him a lot. You can never really tell how GaRpY is gonna play against you. Sometimes he's like a beast and there's no way of surviving like his rockets, for example. And his LG also improved quite a lot. I lost a lot of LG fights that I expected to win. So you cannot really outrule him in these situations. Had to give him the respect he earned.
Considering how close you came in the final stage 1 finals, and it looks like you're back to your best, is there anything in particular you're going to focus on this stage in terms of improvement or evolution of the game to take you to that next level and take the title from Rafa?
To be fair, I was probably in my best shape during that final, and I'm just hoping that I can manage to be on that level and maybe even improve a little bit. I certainly don't want to be like up and down all the time. I want to be consistent, so I'm aiming at first goal is to keep that level throughout the entirety of this stage. And then for the finals, I'll try to step it up somehow. I have no plan yet, but we'll see.
I did want to ask as well, in terms of practice, Razi, what's it been like, obviously, in the downtime over the holidays and stuff with Christmas? Have you been practicing as much as you usually would? Have you had a bit of time off? What's that look like?
Honestly, I'm probably one of the fewest pros that like grind the game all the time throughout the years, but it got to me lately for the past few months, and I was burnt out. I constantly got annoyed. I was like raging, tilting, yes, even me, and it wasn't good. I didn't like it. I didn't like myself like that, and I was playing way worse than I usually would do. So I decided to take a break, and I've been kind of inactive, focusing on things that gives me like enjoyment, playing other games, and only playing Quake when it's absolutely necessary. Which meant that when I was playing Quake, I took it fully seriously, and I was in good mental shape, so it didn't get to me, and I could bring the best out of myself, and that's why I could play so me-like during the finals.
Good for you.
All right. Yeah, no, it's super insightful to hear, man. Thanks again for popping on, Razi, as well. Well played tonight, brother. It was actually a really fun series to watch, mate. Wish you the best with the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
Take care, Razi. Congrats.
Oh, man. It's actually crazy to hear as well. Obviously, you know, something we speculated on about how much the player's been practicing. So cool to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, boys.
Yeah, I mean, just the amount of respect that Razi gave GaRpY to that interview should be a positive, like, red flag to everyone this season, this stage, to keep an eye on GaRpY. Right, like I'm sure Razi doesn't throw around that respect like just to anyone. So I think that says a lot about even what Razi expects out of GaRpY this stage.
Yeah, he wouldn't be passing out those comments willy-nilly. I've heard the sort of things he says about ZSX, and it's not pretty. But what will be pretty, of course, is what's coming up next. Final matchup we have for the night, and it's Rafa taking on Saigib the Gangster, the big man himself. That'll be coming up after the break. We'll catch you with that after the messages.